Okay, sometimes you might find your air tool will start to hang up. And that's what was happening with this Grex. The driver wasn't returning. So we stripped it down and we were just giving it a thorough cleaning. There's a little bit of evidence of water damage here. This is the seal assembly off the head of the piston. You can see a little bit of pitting on the aluminum. It's not bad enough to have to worry about, but if you see that and it's too excessive, you may have to get that cleaned up before you can put everything back together. This was the culprit in this case. This crystallized rubbery kind of crap is actually the original grease. You can see when you squish it, it still behaves a bit like grease, but it was starting to plasticize. And so now that we've got everything cleaned up, we're going to start reassembling. We want to use a high-grade synthetic grease. In this case, I'm using a Permatex product. This piece here looks like it's a seal, but it's actually a bumper for the piston and the driver assembly. The conical side goes down, and the flat side here that hits up against the bottom of the piston, that goes up. You have to make sure that bumper gets pushed all the way in, because the air passages for the return of the piston are down near the bottom as well. It looks like it's fully seated, and so if you don't get that bumper seated all the way down, you can end up blocking off the air passages, which are around this level, and then you'll have a return issue. Goes in like that. Make sure you keep the alignment perpendicular when you press it in. You want to make sure that that pin driver stays flat up against the guide blocks. And then this steel key, it has a bump out, and that rides in the groove of the pin driver. And at least on the Grex guns, the groove is going to be facing out. And then we have a little keeper block. Notice that there's clearance on the inside here. And that clearance goes down. We're not fully tightening this right now. We are just going to set this in here so that it keeps our little pin guide from falling out. Got a very thin layer just on the top ½ inch of the cylinder. Next we need to insert our piston and our pin driver. Don't need much grease on here. We want a little bit on the back of the pin driver. And we want a thin but complete coat on the O-ring of the piston. When we feed this in, we need to make sure we feed the orientation correctly. Like I said, the grooves in the pin driver, they face outwards. This is where having a little block in place is nice. because it's going to keep us from pushing those pieces we just put in back out again. So now that we've got our piston inside of our cylinder, take our carpenter pencil or some other piece of wood that won't mar anything. Even though it's a little bit of a pain getting that pin driver to line up through the keeper, you want to make sure that you put in that keeper first. If you try to put it in after, you may end up bending the driver. Now we want to assemble the cylinder top into the head casting. While this is off, make sure that your air ports are clear. There's one here for the main passage of the air, and there's a second one to allow for positive and negative pressure as the piston operates. This assembly goes in like this. If you learn how to do your own maintenance and basic repairs on your air tools and spray guns, not only will you save a fair bit of time and money, but if you don't have duplicates of everything, it'll be a big help by not having to completely stop whatever you're working on, sending in your tool for repair and then waiting for it to come back. I should explain what I was doing. As I'm pushing this in, I'm watching the O-ring that is in this head assembly, this head casting, and I'm just making sure that it stays put. A nice little layer of grease, that's all we need. We don't need too much in here. It's a paper thin O-ring. But if it works, that's all that we need. We're just going to coat that O-ring with a little bit of grease, a little more on top of our cylinder assembly. And now this will go on top like that. Now this is an uh-oh. We should have an O-ring right here. Alright guys, I'm looking everywhere. I have lost this little seal and I cannot find it. I've spent 15 minutes looking for it and I honestly don't know how it got away from me. And then I saw this. There it is. Before we seal up our head assembly, we're going to just put in just a couple drops of air tool oil. Help these two little seals stay in. You're going to get just a little bit of grease. There we go. And our spring at the top gets a little bit of grease. And there goes our gasket. Start by tightening these up kitty corner, just so we compress that spring. And these don't take much. Remember that There's a little fine seal at the bottom of our cylinder head. We don't want to crush those. So this is our driver plate. This is what aligns the pin nails. They come through here, and it allows them to be held in perfectly perpendicular alignment so that when the pin driver comes down, it shears off a nail off of the strip. So this is an area where we actually want a little bit more grease. To slide that behind our driver. Now we'll undo these. That's why we left these just barely threaded in. Again, paying attention that we leave the bevels on this block pointing down. And these can get tightened up a little more because they have lock washers, so you want to make sure you tighten them enough that the lock washer does its job. It's worth noting that this mechanism here is a dry fire lockout feature. I believe that's what the L stands for on the P650L. Dry firing does not hurt this particular model of gun. There's adequate bumpers inside. You can dry fire it, it'll be fine. It'll just act like a normal shot. But these pins are completely headless. And you can run out of pins and keep going along, and the driver will keep making a little dot. So you'll think you're still firing pins in when in fact you're just shooting blanks. So the lockout feature in this application is handy to have. In a 16 gauge or 18 gauge or a narrow crown stapler, honestly, as long as you're paying attention, you wouldn't need it, but I definitely would spring for the dry fire lockout in the 23 gauge headless pinners. Another feature that makes this very nice to use is it has a double safety trigger. Instead of having a depressible safety off of the front nose, using the double safety allows you to really vary the amount of pressure and sometimes get into just tight spots that are hard to do otherwise. Before we put on our driver cap, we want to install our alignment pin. Now this little machine screw has an alignment pin on the end of it, and it goes through the backing plate and into the back of the magazine. If you start it and you can't get it to catch, it just means that the back of your magazine is a little bit off and you may need to flex it one way or another until it'll catch. There we go. Now we're going to take this just not even to finger tight yet. One thing we want to note is that we need to check the alignment of our magazine with this driver backing plate before we do our final tightening of that alignment pin. To do this, place in a larger set of nails and check to make sure that the nails will move cleanly into the pin driver chamber while being pressed fully against the bottom of the rest. Now in this case you can see that's not happening. What is happening is this bottom is hanging up and the top is pivoting in. And that'll create a feeding problem. So what we need to do is we need to pull this magazine back towards us until we get clearance like that. With that held back, we're going to tighten up our alignment pin. And then let's just check one more time. Yeah, we're still good. Nice smooth feed through there. Now we're ready to put on our pin driver cap. We have a little dot of grease. One little dot's all we need. We got a little bit on the driver and on the backing plate. We slide it in. These really do not need to be tight at all. These just need to be just past finger tight. And finally, we want to put on our Nomar tip. On the Grex tips, they have a little cutout down here. This side of the tip is not the same as this side of the tip. If you put it on the wrong way, like this, you'll find it actually will just fall off on you. If you put the cutout facing the back of the gun, it'll snap in place and stay there. Some people like to put a little bit of light lubrication inside the magazine. I personally like to keep my magazine completely free of any oil and lube. I've had more issues with oil attracting sawdust and debris in the magazine than I've ever had with not having enough lubrication for this to work. And in fact, I've never had that issue. The only times when the magazines have given me problems has been when they have been starting to get gunked up. Spraying them down with a little bit of thinner and then blowing them out well with an air gun seems to fix it every time. So let's put in our set of pins. Make sure you're wearing some safety squints. All right, we've got ourselves a piece of Eastern hard maple. The pin went in fine. It's perfectly flush. And it's coming up the back side. Just use a piece of 3/4 inch ply. And there we go. Our pin is fully driven. It's perfectly flush. And if you have a 2-trigger model, you can have a little more fun with it. Alright guys, happy pinning!